Hey, champions. Here's the situation. In 2016, in the United States, we reached something called peak media. And what that means is we've reached the limit of how much media the population as a whole is able to consume. And there are two reasons that this has happened. The first reason is that internet and mobile device penetration has hit almost 100%. Almost the entire population has internet access, plus access to a mobile device, plus actually access to a desktop or laptop. And therefore, the entire population is able to use online media, digital media, media in general. The other thing that has happened is that we've reached essentially the logical, or rather physical, limit of how much media we are able to consume as human beings. That is, there are other things that we have to do throughout the day that take our time and attention that we cannot possibly devote to media consumption. That is, we have to sleep, we have to eat, socialize, possibly cook and clean, or do other chores and errands, and of course, work. The interesting thing is that media consumption has now, on average, topped 12 hours per person per day. So more than half our day is now, on average, as an American population, devoted to some sort of media consumption. And digital media, for the first time, is in the lead. Actually, this data is from 2016. So recently, it became the case where, for the first time in our history, digital media has surpassed television and all other forms of media combined, in fact. So what does this mean for you? Well, as a content creator, blogger, podcaster, vlogger, video creator, or other content creator, online marketer, business person, etc., is that there's a dramatic shift in what the marketplace looks like, because in the past there were two ways to get attention of your audience. One was to take attention from one of your competitors. That is, an audience member was consuming your competitor's content, you got their attention and managed to keep it, and now they're paying attention to your content. And we had a second way. The second way was that we could grab the attention of new people coming online or increasing their media consumption. So when someone got their first mobile device, now they're able to consume all this media that they weren't before. So I had the option, if I got in front of that person first and captured their attention, then they would pay attention to me. Or if my competitor got in front of them first and captured their attention and kept it, then that competitor would have the attention of that individual. The key difference here is that neither I nor my competitor lose anything in this scenario. It's just a gain. One of us gains something, no one loses something. But those days are gone. In a peak media world, the only way to get attention is to take it from someone else. It's a zero-sum game. Someone has to lose in order for me to win. And what the data is saying, at least this is according to Business Insider, is that over the next 5 years in the United States, we can expect media consumption per person only to rise a total of 18 minutes. And that mostly is going to come from the small percentage of the population that isn't yet online and isn't yet mobile. We're already well over 90%, deep into the 90th percentile. So there's not much room. And then after those 5 years, we're still in this peak media situation, and there's not much room for growth. And if you're outside the United States, well, you're not far behind. It doesn't really matter if you're in Europe or Asia, which is growing the fastest right now, by the way. Africa will probably come along shortly after. It doesn't matter if you're not in a peak media situation yet. It's coming. Soon we're going to be at global peak media, which will mean the only way for you to get new attention is to take it from someone else. And this has big consequences, and this is what I want to talk about today. And the point I want to make is that this means that for the first time, doing video has really become, it's not an option anymore. You have to do video. And the reason for that is simple. If you imagine having an audience of people who want content from you, and you're blogging or you're podcasting, or you're doing whatever it is that you do, but you're not doing video, then we can be fairly sure, or it has to be the case, that when your audience wants video content, they're going to go find it from someone else because you're not offering it to them. If they can't get what they want from you, they will find it from someone else. And that gives your competitors an opportunity to take that attention away from you, and possibly you might not get it back. And that's the key thing here, the key situation here that hasn't existed at any time before in digital media, or any media for that matter. So if you're not doing video, you're putting yourself at a huge competitive disadvantage in today's world. You've probably already heard the statistics about the incredible growth of video content. Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat, all the social platforms today are focusing on video content because that's what users want to consume. And there are lots of reasons for this. One is that it's easier than ever to consume. People have faster internet and are able to consume large file videos in ways that they weren't before. That's one of many reasons. But the reasons aren't the important thing. The important thing is that video is on the rise, and like we see in the print industry is a huge loser in this entire situation. Online, yes, blogging still exists, and blogging probably isn't going anywhere, but compared to video, all the growth is in video. And if you're going to, again, blogging is fine, and it's extremely profitable, and you should keep doing it. And if you're not doing it, you should possibly consider starting, depending on your circumstances. It may or may not be appropriate, right? But in many cases it is. So I'm not saying don't blog or don't podcast or anything like this. These are good avenues in which to create content. All I'm saying is that video isn't an option anymore. You have to become good at this. And a lot of people don't do video simply out of fear. They're scared of looking silly. They're scared of sounding stupid, looking unprofessional, whatever it happens to be. We all have our own apprehensions and insecurities about this sort of thing, and that's normal. I have them too. If you watch my first videos, they are terrible. I rush my speech, I and ah like crazy, I can't find the off button on the camera. So I had so many problems when I shot my first video, but it is a skill. Shooting video is a skill like any other. At some point in your past, you did not be able to speak your native language fluently. You weren't able to ride a bike or write your name or so many other things that over time you learned through a combination of trial and error plus instruction from somebody that you trusted, presumably. And video is the same. Don't look at video like, I have to fire up my camera tomorrow or this evening and shoot a 10-minute or 15-minute or half-hour video on some topic and ramble on and do it at an A+ level. That's not realistic, and that's not the way we do anything. You don't sit down at a piano and suddenly play one of Beethoven's symphonies. That's not the way it happens. It's a skill that you build over time. So if you want to learn video, if you want to learn to shoot video and become competent at video, then the way you have to approach this mentally, strategically, is to look at where you are now and see how you can take one small step forward, the smallest possible step, to make failure impossible for you. So if you've never shot a video before, for example, the first step would be shoot like a 15 to 20 second video where you literally turn the camera, you say, hey, it's so-and-so, I do X for a living and I live in X city, like 3 sentences, and you're done. Now, no, that's not the goal. That's not the 7-figure business, or it's not the Emmy award-winning sitcom or whatever, but it's the first step, and you have to take that step. You don't get to skip it, right? You have to take that step anyway, so take it. And then watch that video, see how you could improve. Yes, it's 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Watch it, see if you're umming and ahhing. Work on things like your tone of voice, your pacing, removing ums and ahs, things like this. and take the same short clip and redo it several times until you're nailing it. You're building good habits that are going to serve you when you shoot a 30-minute video at some point in the future. So this is exactly how I've become as competent as I have at shooting videos in not an exactly short period of time, because one thing that I haven't done correctly is I haven't been as consistent as I should have been with it. I hope that you'll learn from my mistake. Do a little bit of video every day and push yourself to make an incremental, like 1% improvement on your skills every day, and then you'll be shooting video, and that will be protecting your brand against your competitors and also hopefully drawing attention from the competitors that haven't caught on yet. So I hope that this video was valuable to you. I'd love to hear what you think. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And if you